What if the cars that made you famous were also the ones that nearly cost you everything? That was the reality for Mark Towle, a builder who went from crafting movie prop cars in a quiet Temecula shop to battling DC Comics in a federal courtroom before ever becoming the face of Gotham Garage. His greatest success, Car Masters, Rust to Riches, rose from the same daring risks, legal controversies, and creative obsessions that almost ended his career. For millions of Netflix viewers, Car Masters, Rust to Riches, also known as Gotham Garage, was about grit, creativity, and the joy of transformation. You tuned in for the roar of engines and the drama of negotiation. But what you didn't always see was the tension in the shop, the legal battles, or the rumblings that not all of these trades were as real as they seemed. This isn't just a show recap. This is the true story, an unvarnished look at the crew, the company, and the people behind the builds, tracing how Gotham Garage evolved from a prop car workshop into a reality TV powerhouse, the cast who became its public face, and the truth behind the controversies that haunted the garage long after the cameras shut off. This is the real story of the people behind Gotham Garage, the trades, the builds, the controversies, and the truths that didn't make it to Netflix. Gotham Garage didn't start as a reality show spectacle. It began in a small shop in Temecula, California, under a man whose obsession with film cars would become the foundation of his business, Mark Towle. His team wasn't just fabricators. They were artists, dreamers, and deal-makers. Together, they took on projects that blended fantasy and restomod, reimagining classic cars, building concept duos, and restoring vintage pieces in a way that looked cinematic. The turning point came in 2018 when Netflix picked up the story. The streaming giant launched Car Masters, Rust to Riches, produced by Mac Pictures, putting the camera on Towle and his crew. The idea was simple yet compelling. Take old or neglected vehicles, rebuild them with flair, and then trade or sell them to maximize value. Over the seasons, the show gave audiences a front-row seat to Towle's vision, his team's craftsmanship, and the calculated risks of high-value trades. These risks were vividly displayed in early builds, such as the ambitious transformation of a 1964 Ford Thunderbird into a rocket car, or the bold decision to convert a classic 1954 Army ambulance into a custom party bus. Unlike scripted TV, Car Masters framed each episode as a self-contained build. Pick a car, reimagine it, negotiate a deal. The show leaned into the real financial risk, misjudging the buyer or designing poorly, and the trade could fail. For viewers, Car Masters combined two powerful appeals: nostalgia for classic cars and the drama of high-stakes negotiation. But the shop's roots in prop building gave the whole thing an edge. Towle wasn't just restoring, he was creating. He brought a sense of theatricality that most restoration shops don't. The show premiered on September 14, 2018, and continued to grow steadily, eventually releasing 6 full seasons with 48 episodes. The last season, Season 6, was launched on October 23, 2024. The show ended quietly after a decline in ratings due to a combination of factors including a perceived drop in build quality, poor business decisions, and internal conflicts. But its impact on automotive reality TV remains significant. The blend of car restoration, high-stakes trading, and shop dynamics introduced viewers to a new form of automotive entertainment, where the drama was as important as the horsepower. While Car Masters Rust to Riches gave fans a front-row seat to dramatic trades and high-concept builds, not everything was universally loved. Beneath the glossy camera angles and big reveals, some core questions lingered about authenticity, workmanship, and the pressures of reality TV. While the team's personalities made the show compelling, questions about how real those trades were soon followed. A persistent point of contention among fans was whether all the trades and negotiations were genuinely real. On Reddit, viewers openly debated the legitimacy of many deals. These discussions reflect a broader skepticism. Were the buyers always legitimate, or were some of the high-end clients scripted for dramatic effect? Reality TV thrives on tension, deadlines, and surprise reveals, and Car Masters was no exception. While some trades were verifiably real, cars sold, profits made, others likely benefited from stage setups to enhance storytelling. Industry insiders suggest that the show's production schedule created inherent pressure. Builds had to be completed on time, deals had to close within the episode, and cameras had to capture visually compelling content. In some cases, this might have required producers to prompt negotiations, reshoot reactions, or even nudge the storyline toward dramatic tension. While this doesn't negate the crew's skill, it blurs the line between reality and entertainment. Beyond questions of authenticity, critics and fans scrutinized the builds themselves. Some argued that Mark Towle's ambitious cinematic vision sometimes overshadowed practicality. The controversial Franken bus, an aggressive, Mad Max-style modification of a VW camper van that was later scrapped by the Garage, epitomized the debate over whether the builds were art or simply rushed props. The recurring cobweb motif, a stylistic choice meant to evoke vintage decay and creativity, drew mixed reactions. Fans debated whether it added character or masked rushed workmanship. Others pointed out structural concerns, uneven welding, or corners cut in finishing touches, suggesting that meeting filming deadlines occasionally took priority over long-term durability. In interviews and social media posts, some viewers noted the contrast between the cinematic polish seen on camera and what might exist off-camera, where cars awaited proper final detailing before being sold. While the cast consistently demonstrated technical skill, the nature of reality, TV editing and scheduling often amplified imperfections for dramatic effect. After 6 seasons, Netflix quietly canceled the show. The final episode aired on October 23, 2024. Constance Nunes later confirmed the cancellation via Instagram, reflecting a bittersweet moment for fans and cast alike. The decision appears tied to a combination of declining viewership and shifting streaming priorities. As Netflix expanded its reality TV slate, automotive shows like Car Masters faced stiff competition from both traditional car shows and new digital content. Even so, the fan base expressed disappointment and frustration. For longtime viewers, the show's ending felt abrupt, leaving many wondering about unfinished projects or cars that were never fully sold. Despite criticisms, the show's legacy persists. It exposed millions to creative restomods, introduced unconventional build concepts, and spotlighted personalities who might otherwise have remained behind the garage doors at the heart of Car Masters, each member bringing a unique skill set and personality to the amazing show. Mark Towle is the driving force behind Gotham Garage, the man whose vision turned rusted relics into high-value masterpieces and reality TV dreams into tangible profits. Born in the late 1970s in Southern California, Towle developed a fascination with cars and mechanics from an early age. From a young age, he demonstrated the kind of technical aptitude and business acumen that would ultimately define his career. Towle's family background was relatively private. Raised in a middle-class household, he learned the value of hard work and resourcefulness at an early age. Cars weren't just hobbies, they were opportunities. By his teenage years, he was already restoring old vehicles, often taking on small commissions to fund his projects. His path to Gotham Garage was entrepreneurial from the start. In the early 2000s, Mark Towle made his name by building movie-quality replicas. He restored and replicated iconic cars, especially those with cinematic pedigree, Batmobiles, concept vehicles, and impossibly stylized machines. He combined mechanical skill with prop-maker sensibility. For Towle, a car was more than transport. It could be art, a character, a piece of pop culture. That creativity, however, brought him into legal peril. In 2011, DC Comics filed a lawsuit against Towle for manufacturing and selling Batmobile replicas without a license. The case went all the way to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which ruled against Towle. The court held that the Batmobile, as depicted in the 1966 TV show and the 1989 movie, is a copyrightable material. Towle had not only made full replicas sitting around $90,000 apiece, but he'd also sold kits allowing customers to modify existing cars into their own Batmobiles. The case was high stakes, but it also gave Towle visibility. Legal filings and media coverage elevated Gotham Garage from a boutique shop into a name on collectors' radars. Over time, Mark Towle built a real business around his dual passions. Film cars and custom builds. Gotham Garage became more than a prop shop. It was his workshop for ambitious, imaginative vehicles. Towle's impact on the show was undeniable. He wasn't just on camera. He curated each project, oversaw build timelines, negotiated deals, and ensured that each episode balanced technical restoration with the excitement of trade-up reveals. Viewers quickly recognized his dual role as both craftsman and strategist, the mastermind who knew when to push, when to sell, and when to let his team shine. One of Mark's most ambitious creations was the life-sized Hot Wheels split-in-image replica, built on a Corvette C4 chassis. However, the spotlight also brought scrutiny. Towle faced minor controversies around business ethics and restoration claims. Some critics argued that certain vehicles were prepped in advance to maximize trade-up value or that profits were exaggerated for dramatic effect. Towle, however, has consistently maintained that the core of Gotham Garage's business was legitimate, grounded in his expertise and understanding of classic car markets today. Mark Towle continues to operate Gotham Garage while pursuing independent restoration projects and brand partnerships. He remains a prominent figure in the automotive world, recognized for his ability to turn passion into profit and for pioneering a model that blends entertainment with entrepreneurship. Constance Nunes joined Gotham Garage not by accident, but through a lifetime steeped in car culture. Her family has deep roots in the automotive world. Her father, Ernesto Nunes, ran Conejo Auto Repair. She's Portuguese-American and has balanced several personas: model, stuntwoman, driver, and mechanic. Before the show, she worked for major automotive companies, BMW, Ford, and did stunt work in films like Dodgeball and Bring It On Car Masters. She was known as the engine expert, often taking charge of technical builds, making design decisions, and offering a strong counterpoint to Mark's more theatrical visions. But all was not smooth. According to her and public sources, she was not a full-time employee of Gotham Garage. Rather, she worked as a contractor. Some longtime fans questioned her mechanical stamina. Others defended her intensely technical contributions. In Reddit threads, viewers noted that her work was sometimes superficially portrayed, but likely more complicated in reality. Constance founded Cars by Constance, a custom building business catering to clients who appreciate her unique blend of performance and design. When the show was canceled, she confirmed it publicly in a late 2024 Instagram post. It has 6 seasons. Sometimes it's time for people on the show to move on. She continues to maintain a strong online presence, focusing on her own projects and expanding her business. Sean Pilot wears several hats: show negotiator, former actor, and part-time poker pro before Gotham Garage. He had minor acting roles, most notably a bit part in Three Kings. But it wasn't just TV for him. Off-screen, he's played poker seriously, with reported tournament earnings over $376,000. Sean scouted cars, negotiated trade-ups, and pushed for deals that could make or break a build's profitability. He became the face for negotiation in many episodes, balancing Mark's artistic vision with real business sense. Sean's deal-making was often the central drama of an episode, most notably when he had to navigate a complex 2-for-1 trade to acquire the rare 1960 Plymouth XNR concept car, showcasing his ability to secure high-value projects for the garage. After the show ended, Sean kept his foot in multiple doors. He continues to trade cars, maintains a presence on social media, where he often posts updates on his independent car projects and shares his passion for Corvettes, and his reputation remains tied to his negotiating role. But he's less in the public eye than during the show's peak. Michael Pyle, known on the show simply as Caveman, brought both welding skill and humor to Gotham Garage. He was the fabricator, the joked-about big burly guy, but also someone deeply invested in building. On Car Masters, he didn't just build, he bonded. His personality provided humor, but his technical ability was real. He welded metal, shaped panels, and helped bring Mark's wild ideas to life. Caveman's fabrications were essential for the oversized builds, such as the monster truck smart car, where his welding skills were tested to merge disparate vehicle types into a single, functional showpiece. Since the show ended, Caveman has kept a lower profile. There's no widely reported major controversy, but fans on Reddit speculate about how involved he remains in shop projects. The Garage still lists him among its core team in many references, but his public-facing activity isn't as frequent as Constance's or Mark's. Tony Quinones is the metal whisperer of the team. With a strong background in fabrication, custom builds, and hot rods, he got recruited into Mark's world because he could build what most people only sketch. According to Hot Cars, Tony once crafted a Volvo P1800 Restamod, dual motors, custom suspension, and a body finished in Ferrari Abu Dhabi blue. That's the kind of ambition that defined Gotham Garage's signature builds. Tony's detailed work was showcased on high-end vehicles, including the controversial Season 5 Ferrari 360 Spider that received extensive bodywork and a custom green paint job to boost its trade value to $180,000. He also owns TQ Customs, a side business that specializes in customizing muscle cars, bikes, and even trikes. On the show, his work was central. He shaped the metal, brought Mark's ideas to physical life, and often worked under tight deadlines. Off-screen, he continues to build, attend shows such as SEMA, and hone his own craft outside of Netflix. In the end, despite the controversies and the quiet cancellation after 6 seasons, Gotham Garage continues to operate as a custom shop. Its enduring presence confirms that the business, unlike the TV show, is grounded in substantive trade and mechanical skill, ensuring that the Garage's post-Netflix existence still holds relevance in the custom car community.